Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry for inconvenience. Are you able to hear me right now?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
we do.
Okay. I joined the call. Yeah, yeah. Do you want me to continue, or is anyone waiting to join Optimist?
Oh, I don't know. I thought usually the Gapi joins us, but we can start if you want to,
Yeah, yeah.
or if you'd like to
Maybe some
make one
network issue or
your.
something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for giving this opportunity. And my name is Ramu. I have 11 plus years of experience in .NET technology. My career was start.
Ramo, would you like to enable your video?
Sure, sure. Sorry for that one. Okay. Now are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm still able to hear you. Ramo, I'm looking at the resume and it says NGA.
Sorry.
I have, I have I have a very interesting resume. It says AGA.
Ramanji, my friends call me as Ramu and Anji. Both the things, it will be, yeah, it is a shortcut.
Okay, okay. When you do see Ramu.net, that's looked up.
Mhm. Okay, yeah. Going to the technologies which I have been worked, I have worked on the .NET and .NET Core, and presently I'm working with the .NET Core, Azure, and different microservices oriented architecture. I was working as a team lead. I have 10 members are reporting to me, along with the capex development and the apex development too. Because I was working with the project since 4.5 years, and I know that entry point and existing point. If there is something is blocker is happening on the project, and I can able to step into there, and I can resolve that issue. I was completed MCA from Acharya Nagarjuna University, and I got a best employee of the year and best of the employee of the month, and a lot of client appreciation whatever the work I have got. Apart from that, I was a member of Center of Excellence team to do the POCs with the different problem statements, and to implement the problem statement in a project's limit.
Okay, so let me tell you about our company. I do have more questions about your current experience and your qualifications. But let me tell you something about our company. We are a security automation software company. It's a fast-growing field because while analysis of the security vulnerabilities is becoming more and more automated, the response to them are still very manual across the whole every business. So just because you found out that you've been fished or you have a DDoS attack or anything of the fact does not mean that you know what to do with it, right? So and there is not a lot of security people. So we create software technology to automate it. So collection of the data, analysis of the data, and response to the data. Our company is over 100 employees. More than half of them are developers, and we do have kind of like a half and half. Not half and half, probably two-thirds platform, the ones who create the software, and the ones that are using the software to create automations for the clients, right? To create an actual security solution for the client. So we're hiring for the platform. The platform is right now in the move where we're trying to move to the cloud, and we're trying to move to shared cloud, not just individually deployed with a new workflow engine being in the Node.js, and integrations are written in the Python and the front end is an Angular. Well, there's still some vestiges of Angular.js, but they're quickly getting rid of them. So this is us, and we, at least in our group, do not use sprints. We use Kanban. Right. So we do have sometimes the delivery dates, and that's based on the vulnerabilities discovered. We have to patch vulnerabilities, so we do have them, but we do not have 2 weeks, so we have like that. So we have a features that we put on the Kanban board, and we fixing them. Do you have any questions?
Uh, I heard about everything is Node.js as Python and everything. Is it not related to .NET Core or?
No, I just said all our backend is a .NET. That our new workflow engine is the Node.js, but all the backend is .NET Core.
Okay.
So, okay, that's it. If you don't have any questions, I would like to ask you. So, which .NET versions are you familiar with?
Yeah, .NET Core 5.0, which we are using right now.
Are you familiar with which .NET Core you said?
.NET 5.0.
.NET 5.0. Okay. So which C# version it's
9.0.
9.0. Is there anything you like about this 9.0 version versus the 8.0 version? Anything that you think would be better in the 6?
The thing is, yeah, whenever we are going with the one version to other version, there is a lot of maybe improvements are there in terms of the regular expression. In terms of if you can compare with the 9 to 10, we have the record expressions is there, and we have the regular expression changes and default init parameters initialization and setting of the default value to some integers or string, or we can able to set it default values at the time of declaration itself. Like that we have case to case is there, but if you can go in depth, if you can compare with the .NET Core, we are using as a 9 because we have the concept of meta packages. Instead of loading only the single package of all the libraries at once, whenever it is needed, we can able to use those packages.
Can you kind of explain to me your concept of meta packages?
Yeah. For example, a meta package is a combination of the required packages into a single version. And earlier kind of thing, it's a DLL. We want to load the DLL, it will have some kind of KB data, and we need to it has to be taking some in terms of memory and RAM. If you the latest versions of the .NET Core, they are introducing as a meta package. It will load of all the required information whenever it is needed. Then only it will be load, and the size also of the meta package is very less compared to the previous versions of the DLL. Then in that way, we can able to achieve the performance if you want to host an application in the lower servers or different small configuration of app service or function apps.
Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with the Docker Kubernetes?
Yeah.
Do expand on it.
For example, the Kubernetes and Dockers, basically it is used to create a orchestration platform. For example, if I want to develop an application which we want to host into the one mission, there might be some kind of configuration which we need to do in terms of infrastructure.
Can you hold on 1 second, Ramu? Priyanka, can you please stop recording? Thank you. Go on, Ramu.
Yeah. The thing is, if you want to develop an application in terms of a platform independent, if you want to develop one of the image has to be built in any one of the server in terms of.
Hold on, I was more interested about your experience with Docker, where you use it, how familiar you are.
Yeah, we have worked on microservices architecture. We created a Docker image and we have hosted the Docker image into the AKS in terms of the deployment ML and service.ml. If you want to communicate with the two different services, we can go ahead with the asynchronous mechanism of service bus or in terms of HTTP call over async and await. Basically, we want to host our application in the different kind of environment. If you can develop an application in Windows, if you want to host as a Linux based on the customer requirement, we can go ahead with the different kind of the Docker file, and the Docker file can be able to host in the different kind of OSs based on the client requirement.
Okay, I have to ask you just to raise it. So, what do you distribute when you use the Docker?
Docker is if it's a contains the different layers which we want to
So, what do you distribute to the customer?
distribute to the customer in the sense, for example, one of the customer which is having they want to have that own infrastructure as a Linux. Okay, we want to host. They don't want to change of app service plan, or they don't want to change an AKS Kubernetes of namespace. Then in this case, we can go ahead with the use of the Linux, the Docker file, and the CI/CD pipeline for the Linux is the different, and CI/CD pipeline for the Windows is the different. Based on the customer environment, already have the setup is everything is there. They don't want to use of Windows and they want to be very familiar on the Linux. Then they can go ahead with the use of Linux.
Okay. When you say you distribute to the customer the Docker file,
No, we because the deployment also we need to take care. Okay, we are not going to give everything. Our deployment team is separately is there. They will take care of deploying, but it will take as an approval process in the CI/CD process. Once they will approve, the build will be deployed to the pre-prod and the prod.
okay, have you worked with the Docker file?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you separate commands in the run command?
How do you separate the run command? By using the slash?
No, how do you separate commands in the run command?
I did not get your question exactly.
Well, if I want to do apt update and apt install, how do I do them in one run command?
Yeah. In Windows, the commands are
what's in between?
Sorry?
What's joins them? What separates them?
Maybe I am. Yeah, I'm not understanding what is exactly the thing, but we can
Okay, what's the difference between copy and add?
copy and curl.
And add.
Yeah, copy command which is used to take the source code of our repository, which will copy to the whatever the default directory which was created in the layer of the Docker file. In the Docker file, which will have the default.
And the add. What's the difference between copy and add?
I don't know.
Okay, but you are aware that there is an add command, right?
Yeah.
What other commands are in the Docker file?
Docker file basically.
What other commands are in the Docker file?
We have the copy command and we have the setting working directory of a particular command, and we can set it as a build of the application, .NET build, .NET publish, and we can entry point of the Docker file. What is the entry point of the DLL, or what is the name whenever user is providing to run a Docker file. And we have that base command from base of which one of the base file I need to take as a particular environment if you want to.
Okay, I understand. The reason I was being so inquisitive is because when you say Docker file, you actually mean image.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Docker file is just a Docker file for the build command. When you're talking about distribution, you meant image, and the fact that you're now mentioning from Docker file, you mean from the from command takes image.
Yeah.
Not the document file. Okay, got it. So how you distribute it in terms of setting up the environment? Are you using the Docker Compose? Are you using Kubernetes or Squad? What are you using?
We are using AKS.
Oh, AKS, but no, I mean, what are you using to configure AKS? AKS help files, your
No,
Kubernetes
deployment
tabs?
.yml and service.yml, and manifest. We will create as a manifest folder, and we can place those files, and we can use at the time of CLCD.
Okay,
I know the concept of
okay.
Helm, but I did not get a chance to implement in the project.
No, that's this is initial interview. Just seeing that what you're saying is on your resume is what you
Okay,
actually
fine.
are. So yeah. So question: how do you debug the Docker the projects in the Docker file?
Yeah, we have a concept of Azure Elastic. Okay, we have enabled that Elastic distributed tracing. We need to implement the logging whenever we have that any exception is happening on a particular distributed transaction or distributed service calls. We are using as an Azure Elastic, and Azure Elastic we have an application performance monitoring as a Kibana tool, which will give us the tracking of a particular request, which request is failing on the, if we have the service A is calling B is calling C, then we can able to identify uh, the tracing as well as error information in the Elastic in the Kibana.
Right. That wasn't my question.
Mhm. How do you debug the application which was hosted in Docker using Docker file, right? Yeah, we are using as a Azure Elastic and Kibana as
But
a
that's tracing. That's not debugging.
debugging in the sense based on we can add a logger, we can able to identify what could be
You
the
put
issue.
in in a sense, you put in the breakpoints and you examine the variables and the calls and the stack traces.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we should be very
Hmm.
right now assessing what the debugging is. So how do you, can you debug them? How do you debug? How you debug your application, the one that you package in the Docker file?
Yeah, we have a Docker desktop. We have that local Docker desktop. In the IAS server, we have the profiler as a Docker. We can able to put a debugger, and we can able to run that Docker file to debug that application of the particular use case.
Can you put a breakpoint?
Hey, if you have that profiler as a Docker desktop and target profile is a Docker, we can able to identify in Visual Studio 2019.
Okay, okay. The databases you are familiar with and comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Ramo, which databases are you do you know work with and comfortable with?
I'm comfortable with the SQL Server, and I have that knowledge on MongoDB because we have used as some of the POCs. I'm not an expertise on MongoDB, but I can able to implement and I can able to. I am flexible to learn of any of the things, but I am very well aware of SQL Server.
Can you write a query in MongoDB?
Yeah,
Okay. Which language are you using to write a query in MongoDB?
yeah, MongoDB. We are using uh, this one dictionary and decent properties.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about your software quality. So, is there anything that you're looking for when you, as a team lead, are you looking for in the software quality, code reviews, and first of all, do you do code reviews
Yes.
in your current project? So,
Yeah.
what are you looking for when you're doing the code review?
Yeah. We have some set of standard guidelines was defined in our organization. We have to follow the standard guidelines in terms of we have to use the Sonar Q for static code analysis. As well as before going to the sonar cube, we need to understand if you want to implement any of the functionalities, there is any one of the thing is impacting of current change. If the project is already exist, if you want to change any of the existing method, we need to be care of whenever we want to changing of an existing method, we need to check an impacting of the particular functionality. We have to follow the exception handling and null handling, and everyone has to follow the coding standard in terms of using the naming standard of a particular variable, method, and properties which are related to the what are the functionality they are using. These are the we are using as a online Visual Studio team services, which it will create a pull request. Defaultly, the team lead will be added as a pull request reviewer. We will be able to identify what are the things was implemented as part of the current pull request. We can able to give as a comments, and the developer will resolve it. If need, we can have the quick kind of a demo of a particular pull request, and we can able to make them reduce the number of errors before going to the UAT or pre-prod.
Okay, that's wonderful. Out of the curiosity, what's your standards from the null handling? You just mentioned it at first.
The standards in the sense of as a documentation which will give you in terms of everyone has to follow the variable names, everyone has to follow the method names and the property names. Okay, if you want as a 2 years guy, they don't know how to follow all these things. We need to make them as a standardized guidelines.
Sorry, you mentioned that you enforce some rules regarding nullability. Can you elaborate on the nullability?
Yeah, vulnerability you mean to say, right?
No, nullability, nulls, handling of the nulls.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on it a little?
Yeah, null condition in terms of nullable checks. For example, we are thinking that whatever the input condition to the database layer, we will get a result. Sometimes it might be happening. There might be we will get as a empty of a particular object, or we may be getting as an object which is trying to create based on the some condition it is not going to create. Then we are trying to perform an operation on nullable variable. In that case, we will able to get as a nullable null object reference exception. If you want to avoid, we need to maybe precautions in terms of creation of an object, or we need to take care of all the precautions. Whether we are getting as if we take as an example of dynamic, we thought that if we create a dynamic.
Sorry, more in my low. Okay. So, quick question about what you would look for in the code. Like, do you know what solid stands for, or dry principle?
Yeah. Solid principles. Yes. Yeah. In the software industry, this is the basic thing everyone has to use. Like in terms of single responsibility.
You'll be surprised, right?
Definitely.
Everybody will follow.
No. Everybody, for example, if we can't expect the same output of 2 years guy from 10 years guy, difference is there, right? Yeah, we have to make them to understand these are the standards which you have to follow as part of organization to organization. Yeah. That is the reason we are in the leads, and we need to make them understand, make as a team capability.
So can you tell me what solid stands for, and then I will randomly ask you one letter.
Yeah. Solid is a kind of standards. It's a principle which was provided in the software environment. Single responsibility, which is a definition I am giving, but if you want, I can give as an explanation as well.
I will ask you what that means for one letter. Just unspell it for me.
Yeah, a single responsibility, and O for open closed principle, I for interface segregation, L for risk of substitution principle, and D for dependency inversion control.
What's I stands for?
Sorry?
What's I stands for?
Interface segregation.
Interface segregation. Okay. explain to me interface segregation and why do you think it's
interface segregation. What is the exactly the basic thing is I don't want to make all the clients are using the same interface which is having the different method. I don't want to make all the clients has to be implemented as a dummy method or a default method implementation in their code whenever they want to implement. I can able to divide that bigger interfaces to the small piece of interfaces. Then I can give as an interface to the individual client. They can able to implement as part of their implementation.
Why do you think it's important?
Sorry?
Why do you think it's important?
Yeah, it's important in the sense I have a big interface. In the new client is coming, I want to add one of the method into that interface. Why I need to make as other clients has to be implement because they don't need the functionality, they don't want the functionality. In those case,
Good.
yeah.
Good. Okay, you are familiar with the gang of four patterns, or you any other patterns that is in our business?
Yeah, factory design pattern.
Which one is your favorite, or actually, which one do you use the most, or the latest?
Dependency injection.
Dependency injection. Well, that's not really a gang of four patterns, but okay.
Yeah, we can say that dependency injection internally using as a repository.
Okay. Well, okay, that's great. Um, so here's our interview process. We have initial discussion, and then we have a practical, and we give a week for the practical. It shouldn't take more than 3 to 4 hours. Well, obviously not everybody has 3-4 hours just laying around, so we give a week for that. And after that, we have a final interview where we have a little bit more people than me, which will ask more technical questions. We're mostly interested in you, like people like the practical, to explain why you did things the way you did things, etc., right? And then there is a short, practical test, write a function, which is mostly not how you write the function, but how do you analyze the problem and solve it.
Okay.
It's called programming, but it's mostly to see that you're not a coder but a programmer. You probably know the difference, right? So if you're okay, are you okay with that?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to offer you a second to go to the second stage of our interview process, and if I don't know, Priyanka, this is the first time I see you.
I am sorry for that. Actually, Gopi has a network issue, so I am representing Gopi.
Okay, but will you be able to communicate to Gopi and give the practical, because it's the same practical we give to every backend person, yes?
Definitely.
Okay. No, I might have met you, but without the picture, so it's just, I never put the name to face yet. Okay, so, and we'll take it from there, Ramon.
Sure.
So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
It was very nice meeting you. So,
Thank you. Thanks for your time too. Yeah. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Dimitri. Thank you so much, Ramu, for your time today.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.